Step right up, dummies, and listen to the stupidest sports show on earth with Rodney Newpole and Tim Van Stratton. Yeah. Well, hello, dummies, and welcome to episode number 136 of the stupidest sports show on earth. My name, as you all know, is Tim, Mr. Padre Van Stratton, joined by the great Rodney Newpole, wearing his Kansas Jayhawk blue with his Con Knipple jersey in the background. He's vibing. He's feeling it. What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Loving the basketball going on. Trying to figure out if it's going to be warm outside, cold outside, if I'm going to be dry, if I'm going to be wet, if it's going to snow, if it's going to rain. I don't know. But anyways, we got through Stormageddon the other night, and here we are back for another night. Sorry we couldn't be on Tuesday. Had a little power issue and other things going on. So we're back. Here we are. Thursday night.
I had a paint emergency.
I heard that. Yeah, no, it's all right. That's all right.
Had a paint emergency, but it's all good. We're good. Yeah, like I think you summarized it pretty well with the weather. Like, so that was Tuesday with Stormageddon, storm of the century. It did not hit us at all. We got some rumbling thunder and some rain. A lot of it was north, but it's like, yeah, I dressed. I had like the long pants and the hoodie on Tuesday when it was 74 degrees, and I was like, well, that was ridiculous. So then I wore shorts and a t-shirt the following day when it was 41 degrees.
Yeah.
So
yeah. You sound like my 9-year-old. She was like, I thought it was going to be cold. Then she was like, it was hot. I'm like,
I can't get it right. I can never get it right. And like I wear jeans in the summer. I'll wear t-shirts in the late fall. I don't know what's wrong with me. I've always been that way. Yeah. Just weather, make up your mind. At the same time.
I agree.
Yeah. So yeah, we got, needless to say though, I mean, it's been a week since we've been on. It's been a busy week. It's been conference tournaments. It's been NFL legal tampering period. It's been World Baseball Classic. We got a lot to get to. So we're going to start off. Well, first of all, thanks as always to Gateway Sports. Shout out to them for all of their support. I'm sure that they're broadcasting the show as well on their channels, on Twitter and YouTube and such. But yeah, as people are trickling in, thanks for tuning in. As always, you can drop your comments. We'll feature the best ones on the show, and by the best ones, we mean pretty much anything that you write. Like, we're very loose with our screening process.
Let me tell you about Gateway Sports real quick. If you love sports at every level, there's only one place you need to be, and that's Gateway Sports. They cover it all: preps, college, and the pros. Real coverage, real voices, real passion for the game. From live shows to podcasts, Gateway Sports connects the region like nobody else. Proudly powered by First Form and Recalibrate. Visit gatewaysports.net. Every level, one gateway. And as you put up there, that is the Gateway Sports logo. They put that together for us. Thanks, Gateway Sports. Appreciate you.
That is us. That is technically us. It's technically you. It is you. It's technically me. But yeah, shout out to Gateway Sports, and also shout out to the fact that it's 3 days until Selection Sunday. If it was not a Sunday, if it was a work day, a part of me feels like you would request it off every single year.
Yeah,
it
does
feel like a religious experience when the bracket is released. Honestly,
yeah, no doubt about it. 5:00 Sunday. Be ready. Then it's time to cram. You got to get yourself ready for the tournament, or whatever bracket contest you're going to be in. You got to study the regions. You got to get all that stuff ready in like 4 days, because Thursday, 11 o'clock. Well, first Thursday, 10 o'clock, Price is Right will come on.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, I missed Bob Barker. I
do miss Bob Barker, but I'm so thankful that he is being honored by the legendary Drew Carey, who
that's so bad.
Every time he takes the stage, just has this presence about him that just screams superstar.
Yeah, I don't know which one's
worse. For the great Drew Carey.
I don't know which one's worse, Drew Carey on Price is Right or Ryan Seacrest on Wheel of Fortune. I don't like either one of them. I miss Pat Sajak as well. But anyways, here we are. But yeah, then we'll get ourselves ready. But yes, I agree. I probably would take the day off 3 days until Selection Sunday, about 68 hours or so left.
Yeah, sorry. I was just tweeting about Drew Carey here. Got to show my man some love. Only because you hate him so much. I have now become the biggest Drew Carey fan, who, by the way, has been hosting the show now for almost 20 years, just for the record.
That's wild to me. That is absolutely wild.
I think it's 2007 is when he took over. It's 2026, brother. At this point, get over yourself. Like,
no. Yeah,
if he sucked at it, he would be the host for 20 years.
You get mad about it every year too.
I finally had enough. I finally put my foot down because of all you and our buddy Aaron, who's just like, oh, I hate Drew Carey, or what do you always? I miss Bob Barker. That's what you say. So then finally I was like, enough. I'm going to become the biggest Drew Carey fan there is. And shout out Drew. Had a great underrated sitcom in the 90s, and Whose Line Is It Anyway is fantastic. And now 20 years and honestly probably another 30 more. Price is Right. He's going to outdo Bob Barker. He's going to be the host longer than Bob Barker will be. So sit on that. Man. All right. What's going on? What's going on in conference tournaments? Obviously,
yes.
Last week we had Missouri Valley. We had some other mid majors. Now we have all the big dogs going on. And where are we at right now? And what's sort of the overall theme here?
Yeah, so we have 14 teams that have clinched their spots into the NCAA tournament. And I haven't done the math on them for sure, but it feels like a lot of 1 seeds did not win their conference tournament. A lot of these teams that have won their conference tournament, people are talking, well, they're probably a 16 seed. Well, you can only have 4 of them, right? Like you can only have 4 16 seeds. So let me run down the list real quick. Tennessee State, Long Island, Northern Iowa, the High Point Panthers, Queens Royals, North Dakota State Bisons, Troy Trojans, the Furman Paladins, the Wright State Raiders, the Hofstra Pride, shout out to the Pride, Gonzaga Bulldogs, Siena Saints, McNeese Cowboys, Lehigh Mountain Hawks, probably my favorite of the group, and the Idaho Vandals. Those teams are in.
I cannot wait to blindly take at least a third of those teams you just listed to win in the first round. I have watched, Northern Iowa is the team that I'm most familiar with there. But combined of all those teams, I've probably watched 2 games, and they've both been Northern Iowa. So
no, I hear you. I hear you. Big conference tournaments that are going on right now. I wouldn't say a lot of surprises. I mean, the big boys in the Big Ten haven't even started. The Big 12 big guys just got going today. Arizona won, Houston won. Let's see, Iowa State beat Texas Tech. So really, and Kansas and TCU play now. Kansas is obviously the higher seed in that one. Wouldn't surprise me if TCU wins. Big Ten tournament, like I said, big dogs get going as early as tomorrow and Friday. SEC, really the biggest of the teams haven't won. So we really haven't gotten in. Right now, we're kind of eliminating the back ends of the big conferences and some of the middle. But Ohio lost.
Yeah. So real quick, I was just going to mention, well, we could start with Miami of Ohio. Okay. Yes, they lost their first game of the year today, quarterfinals. So they, despite being 31-0 in the regular season, right? They will not be the conference champions.
Nope.
Why is there even a debate, though, that a team that was ranked 20th nationally, that now has 1 loss for the whole year in what was technically a tournament game?
Yeah.
Why are we even debating about whether or not they're a team? Before today, they were considered by the AP one of the top 20 teams in college basketball. So now, because of 1 loss, they're going to drop 50 spots?
Well, okay, a couple things. Number one, the committee won't use the AP poll. AP is not associated with the committee. AP
right. I get that, but it's a quality of team. I'm saying they're understandably are there any teams that are ranked that miss the tournament ever?
No, I don't think so. And so, in one more clarification, they wouldn't technically drop 50 spots because as we know, there are these conference
yeah.
tournament winners that are 110, 100, whatever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they would probably drop 25 to 30 spots according to the AP poll, but it's not going to happen. They're going to get in. But here's the deal on why the questions are going on. Because there's so many nerd metrics going on in college basketball. There's the net rankings. There's the WAB, or what it wins above bubble. There's all sorts of things. I'm not necessarily against it, but when you put all that stuff together, the quad one wins and all that, that's just what it comes down to. And they're opposed to an Auburn team that they finished today. They lost. So they're 17-15. You're right. There shouldn't be a question. 31-1, 17-15. There shouldn't be a question. But there is. Here we are. And there's a bunch of bubble teams. And actually, Miami, Ohio is probably lucky because this is a god-awful bubble.
Yeah, so what I was going to mention before we start talking about Miami of Ohio is it seems like all of the bubble teams too are losing. There's no bubble team right now, or no group of them that is doing themselves any favors in conference tournaments to make that last push.
Yeah, yes, Miami, Ohio, like I said, they actually probably really got lucky because there is no, this bubble team is really making their mark late. This bubble team, and these big conference tournaments, we're seeing some of the top, a lot of the top seeds winning and kind of eliminating any of those bubbles. And the bubbles are going to be really, really bad. There's going to be some teams that absolutely do not deserve to be in this tournament that are going to be in the tournament. And, but the problem is going to be one or two of them probably going to win a game. They're going to be a 10 seed and they're going to upset a 7 just because that's basketball and that's sports. But,
so last year there was a lot of controversy because North Carolina ended up making the play-in round, even though they had a dreadful season. Did they end up? They got bounced early, right?
I'm sorry. Who was that?
For North Carolina, because I think the controversy last year was North Carolina had such a bad year, and they were one of the the play-in, the first four teams, and I think that they ended up getting bounced and stuff. But it was a situation like that where there's just a really, really mediocre conference team that just somehow gets in and over a team that had 30 wins, right?
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, North Carolina did struggle a little bit last year and lost early. And there's gonna be more of those this year. There's gonna be if Indiana gets in, I don't know as if they're going to. They shouldn't. They don't deserve to. Ohio State, teams like that are on the bubble that are going to get in. Yeah, and then you got a team like Belmont who won 26 games, and we do this every year. They're not changing it. They keep talking about expanding the field. I don't know if we can expand the field or drop it to 52 because we got 68 and 16, and most of them aren't going to be any good.
Honestly, and Rodney, I'm sure that we've talked about this at some point, but you love the tournament more than anyone else on this earth. Maybe aside from John Rothstein. Maybe he's your only competition because he loves the tournament and college hoops more than his own wife and children. Sure. But there's no argument from you to say, hey, we should expand the tournament more, right? I look at the bracket and I'm it's perfect the way it is.
Yeah.
Even from 64 to 68, it was okay, whatever. That's it's really minimal. But expanding it to 96 or whatever, I'm no, I think what we have right now is absolutely perfect. And I'm good with having a few teams that get in, a few teams that were oh, they should have got in, but that's it. So I don't think we have to touch the bracket ever again.
Yeah, I don't think there's there's no need for expansion. Like you said, there are mediocre teams getting in. You're gonna have bad teams getting in, and that's just not needed. Yes, would it mean more basketball games? Yeah, but honestly, I love the tournament, but by the time the Final Four gets here, I'm kind of okay, basketball can be over now. We can move on to Major League Baseball, but so we don't need an extra week of games. We don't need an extra dozen games, 20 games, whatever it's going to be. 67 games is enough.
So, all right, as of right now, and the great thing about this time of year is the bracketology, it's not like, oh, this is a couple days old. Like Joe Lenardi has his bracketology that was updated about an hour and 3 minutes ago. So as of right now, the last 4 teams in overall are Missouri, VCU, Texas, and SMU. SMU is the last team that's in. The first 4 out, Auburn. So Auburn's the first one out. Indiana, New Mexico, Oklahoma. And like Auburn and Indiana were the 2 teams that we were sort of joking about earlier in text. Like they're so just blech. And it's like the idea of a team like Miami of Ohio at 31-1 missing the tournament so that Auburn or Indiana can get in is just the most disgusting thing ever. Yeah. Now, that said, Miami of Ohio is now the final team to get a bye, to skip the first 4 rounds. So now they've dropped all the way to essentially what would that be? The 64th seed?
Yeah. Yeah, they would probably be like a 12.
He has them as an 11, so they would be an 11 seed facing Wisconsin in the first round. It was a 6 seed, but like they would be the last team to skip the first 4 round. So like right there on that cusp here. So I mean, I guess there's a chance that they could be in the first 4, but like, man, that would be so ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know, because there's not a lot of those teams left. I mean, I look at the teams that he's got around him, and like they're all eliminated because all the top guys. TCU is, if they can beat Kansas, but I think they're safely in already. I'm pretty sure.
TCU, I think is in.
Yeah, they're at a 9 already, so they're not going to affect the bubble one way or the other. Like even if they lose this game to Kansas, they're not falling out.
Yeah.
NC State's eliminated, UCF is eliminated, Santa Clara is eliminated, Missouri, VCU still around. VCU plays in their conference tournament; they're still around. Yeah. SMU's eliminated, Auburn's eliminated, Indiana's eliminated.
What about Texas?
Texas played they already got beat in the SEC tournament. Let me check it. Texas's.
Yeah, because they're the second to last team in to make the field overall right now.
Yeah, no, they got upset yesterday by Ole Miss. Yeah, that's right. So they're out. Oklahoma is the first 4 out. They have been eliminated. No, they're playing right now. They're playing Texas A&M. Oklahoma would be a team that could. They're beating Texas A&M right now. New Mexico is playing here tonight too. So yeah, I mean,
so those are the couple teams though that could shake some things up, and then that means that puts Texas maybe in trouble, that puts SMU maybe in trouble.
Yeah.
Kind of just depends from there. And then like Stanford, San Diego State, Cincinnati, Virginia Tech are the ones that I think really need a lot of help.
Yeah, you're not going to get the help at this point. Like, there's no help. There's no help available.
Yeah.
Like, your only help was you needed to win games and you didn't. Cincinnati got a miracle win over UCF. Stanford, Virginia Tech both went down in flames. So yeah, their help is gone.
So right now, for all of our Illini people that are listening, which I'm sure there are a few, Illinois would be a 3 seed. In St. Louis, taking on North Dakota State. They win that, they would face either Louisville or the winner of the Missouri VCU play-in game. So, like, we could get a Missouri-Illinois round of 32, which would be in St. Louis.
In St. Louis would be absolutely
which
insane.
Would be quite fun.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know as if that would be the actual pairings. I mean, Lunardi's not ever really exactly right on these, but yeah, no, that's fun to think about. Now, it's interesting because he moved Iowa State to a 2 with their dominant win over Texas Tech. Now, let's say Illinois comes out and dominates and runs through the Big Ten tournament. Illinois probably moves up to a 2. Now, who do they move ahead of? Is it Michigan State? Is it Iowa State? I mean, Iowa State's got a big game tomorrow against Arizona. So I think because I think Iowa State's currently at the 8, Illinois is currently at the 9. I think that could change a little bit. And Illinois hasn't even played yet in the Big Ten tournament. So but you're right. Like a 2 or a 3 doesn't make a huge difference. You're still playing basically the same team as you would in a 2 and a 3 spot. But going to St. Louis would be massive for them, absolutely massive for them. And there was one out there that had SLU, St. Louis University, going to St. Louis, and I don't even know if that could happen. I don't think that could happen. So I don't know why.
Normally you only see it happen maybe if it just so happens that like one of the 1 seeds is if that year they're playing in Charlotte, right? Like Charlotte's one of the destinations, and Duke or UNC is the 1 seed, like they'd put them there.
Now I will tell you, in this bracket, Louisville at the 6th seed is not a pushover. That is not a gimme game. They have some injuries right now, and Pat Kelsey's got a nice squad. I mean, Illinois would be a favorite. They would play North Dakota State in this scenario. They would be favored over Louisville. They would be an underdog against Iowa State. It would be a point or two. It would be close, but Iowa State's tough, man. I don't know what 2 seed you want to see if you're a 3, but Iowa State might not be one of them.
How about this here? This is a potential matchup. 2 seed UConn against 15 seed UMBC. The UMBC, for those that are wondering, which I don't think UMBC is confirmed. I think they're just the projected leader. That conference tournament must still be going on right now, but that would be a fun matchup. Just looking to see what some of the other ones are. Your Kansas Jayhawks, as of now, are the 4 seed going to Portland. And this again, and you're right, like Lenardi, I think he's good with the who's in, who's out, and maybe not necessarily the exact matchups, but like Kansas is a 4 seed to face Sam Houston, who is a projected team.
Yeah, projected in. And they going to Portland, okay, fine. I mean, there's no advantage for either Kansas or Sam Houston going to Portland. You give the advantage to a team like Kansas because they would travel better than a Sam Houston squad, right? Like, just think about the basketball, pedigree of a Sam Houston to Kansas, and they're going to travel to Portland more. So it'd be interesting. Looking at some of these Michigan, Duke would basically stay out east the whole time. They stay Greenville, North Carolina, and then go to Washington, D.C. Michigan would have a little bit of advantage. Now they'd have to go to Buffalo. Now they chose Buffalo. I thought that was interesting. Michigan chose Buffalo between Buffalo and Chicago for their first round. So I thought that was interesting. Uh-oh, I think I lost you. I'm here. You here? All right, I'm still here. Well, I'll see what Tim can get back here on the screen. But it's going to be interesting to see as the bracketology continues out here. Utah Valley is another one of the teams. Hey, Tim's coming back here. We'll see if we can get him baback on the air.
Apparently, hello. Apparently, I lost my internet connection at the Quality Inn, which I was told that it was a quality connection here. So now
I got to move me to the other side. I'm here.
Okay, hi. Oh, thank God.
Hi. Yeah, that was fun. Nice job, Quality Inn. Lawdy. All right. So I spent a few seconds while you were gone talking college basketball there. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Big games tomorrow. There's a bunch of games again tomorrow in the college basketball conference tournaments. We'll see who wins this Kansas TCU game. The winner of that gets Houston. That should be a fun one. And like I said, those Big Ten teams get going tomorrow as well. So bunch of games tomorrow. Looking forward to it.
All right. Now that we've gotten the appetizer out of the way, let's get to the main course. It's NFL free agency. And can we just say, shit's awesome, man. It's so good. It's so good. Legal tampering. Like, all right. I don't even know where to start here because you got, okay, well, first of all, the whole Max Crosby trade, I think the Ravens might have actually hurt themselves, like their relationship with teams and with agents. Because like the more that I'm thinking about this, the more I'm like, this kind of reeks. So you have that story where now that trade gets nullified and they pivot, they go to Trey Hendrickson. You have teams like the Titans who are spending a boatload of money, seemingly on only former Giants. You have a bunch of other big moves. You have Kenneth Walker going to the Chiefs. He's now teaming up with Patrick Mahomes and all of them. I'm very intrigued by that. You have Alec Pierce, who famously Rodney drafted during week 1 of the NFL season in his stupid fantasy league that was a slow draft that went weeks and weeks. As Alec Pierce is just torching whoever they were playing week 1, Rodney's like, I'm just going to draft Alec Pierce and get all the points that I'm literally watching him get right now. Alec Pierce got the largest free agent contract for a wide receiver ever.
I'm speechless by that. How? I don't understand. Why did they decide to pay him so much?
I mean, he is good, but yeah, I don't think anyone was expecting that. It's a little bizarre. So yeah, it all sort of goes into the fact that free agency is wild, bruh. I know that you've been watching a lot of college basketball and all that this week, maybe a little bit of World Baseball Classic, but anything stand out to you as far as NFL free agency, any moves that really caught your attention, any trades, what's your biggest standout thing so far?
Yeah, so I just keep talking about what's the Bears' final plan here? What are the Bears end up going to be? What are they finally doing now? They've made some moves, but what's their overall plan here? What other moves are out there? I'm looking through the list now of all the recent free agencies. CJ Gardner Johnson, the Bills. I still think the Bills are going to be really good next year. I really do.
And a lot of people it kind of stuck under the radar a little bit, but they signed Bradley Chubb. That's a pretty good signing on the defense. They get DJ Moore as a receiver who's really going to make an impact for them. They suffered a devastating loss in the postseason. I'm buying Bill stock again, man. I'm right there with you.
We just keep doing it, but it'd be interesting to see what happens there. But what was another one? Obviously the big, Kyler Murray going to Minnesota. Yeah. We talked about this before the show even started. He signed on a veterans minimum deal, so he's going to be a cheap quarterback. JJ's already on his, he's still on his rookie deal, basically. They're going to have, if they can get any production out of their quarterback, we'll see.
Yeah. JJ McCarthy now at this point, he's been in the league for 2 years, and he's really only given them half a season worth of production. And that production is probably the wrong word to say, because he hasn't really produced. He's shown a couple flashes, but when he has been on the field, he hasn't been very good. So for Minnesota, this is such a low risk signing. And what this does is say, hey, if Kyler Murray is our answer here, we can absolutely just bring him back and give him Kyler Murray. Unless he's just amazing, Kyler Murray's next contract isn't going to be $40-50+ million a year. It's just not. So for Minnesota, it's okay, great, we can do that. If it doesn't work out, all right, fine. We still got JJ McCarthy on a rookie contract for at least 1 more year, if not 2 more years, because they got the 5th-year option. I guess maybe the downside is if Kyler Murray is good, then you have to decide, do we – because then, if you commit to Kyler, then you don't do the 5th-year option with JJ McCarthy, and then you sort of just have to officially count on Kyler Murray being your answer in the long term, which is kind of scary. But for 1 year, I think it's a great idea for Minnesota to do it. And that's the team that they were linked to, or Minnesota was linked to Kyler Murray a lot. You back?
Yeah, you're back. I don't know, was it you or was it me?
I don't know. We're crushing it tonight. No, the other one that I was just going to mention here is the most obvious signing, I think, was Malik Willis to the Dolphins. So Malik Willis, who's essentially been a career backup, for the most part, he's going to be starting now. 3 years, $67.5 million. He's going to be starting in Miami, except it's going to be a Miami team that doesn't have Tyreek Hill, that doesn't have Mike McDaniel coaching the offense. I'm curious to see what that looks like there, because we both think that team's going to be really bad.
Yeah.
But like I could also see Malik Willis being significantly better than what Tua was this year because Tua was absolutely horrendous. So it's like the talent is worse, but the quarterback play is better. So it's like, what's that going to look like then when the games actually happen and their record at the end of the year? So that one's really fascinating to me.
Yeah, no, I think you're right on that, on the Miami one. And you mentioned right from the beginning the Kenneth Walker to Kansas City, and it just was like it was almost immediately. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, did Seattle basically Seattle said, okay, thank you for the Super Bowl and the MVP, but like we can't afford you. And Kansas City was like, well, we need a really top level quarter or running back, so we'll want you. And I don't know, he didn't even really shop around. It doesn't sound like. Kansas City reached out, said, we want you, and there you go.
So there were, there's always like the insiders and, who have been sort of speculating like, okay, there's a lot of interest in Kenneth Walker. Like the Giants were linked to Kenneth Walker quite a bit. The Chiefs were linked. The Saints were linked. And obviously it makes sense. Like the Saints went out and got Travis Etienne. So it seemed like Kenneth Walker was definitely a guy who was in demand, but now he's getting $15 million a year. I'm pretty sure that's like what Saquon Barkley's getting with Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So he's getting like a Saquon deal. He's going to Kansas City. He gets Mahomes. He gets Andy Reid. Like it's a really good spot for him. And and Seattle is. Yeah, Seattle had a lot of guys that hit free agency. So like they won the Super Bowl at a really opportunistic time because now like they have quite a few holes to fill and they just needed to figure out who to resign and just like the priorities aren't Kenneth Walker. So it's because I think JSN, I'm pretty sure is going to, I don't know if he has like an extension officially yet, or maybe he does, but it like hasn't kicked in. But like that's someone who for sure that they need to get money for.
What's the latest on Alvin Kamara? Is he retiring?
I don't know, man. To be honest, I kind of forgot like he was still around. Like I totally did not hear anything about him this year.
Because the Saints went and got, who'd you say they picked up? They picked up
Travis Etienne.
Right?
Yeah.
So Kamara's kind of been a low key favorite. I don't know about favorite, but I've always enjoyed Alvin Kamara. But I just wondered what his intentions were. Maybe he's retiring. I don't know. I was kind of looking that up, and Kellen Moore is non-committal about Alvin Kamara's future with the Saints. So maybe there is an opportunity there, but he's about done.
What do you think? I don't think we've mentioned this one yet. We're kind of surprised Mike Evans signed with the San Francisco 49ers.
I am, but now he can go win a Super Bowl ring, huh?
Yes, now he can finally get that elusive Super Bowl. Okay, so I know that people have already joked about it, but legitimately, like the 49ers have been the most injured team in the league for seemingly like every year. Mike Evans isn't exactly like clean bill of health right now. He's already 32. Like if he's healthy, this is going to be awesome. But is he going to be healthy?
Yeah. No, that's the question. I mean, yes, you're right, because San Francisco, if he is, and he plays to his level, I mean, San Francisco's another team that we're going to buy stock on probably. Same teams, Buffalo, San Francisco, all these same teams.
Yeah.
But yes, a lot of questions on his health.
And last free agent signing I was going to throw out because it's a name that like Isaiah Pacheco basically getting $1 million to become the new David Montgomery with Detroit. I'm kind of interested, but I feel like David Montgomery was probably better. Unless what am I missing there?
With you. Sonic and Knuckles no longer. Now it's Sonic and I don't know what Pacheco is going to be, but I'm not sold on that one being the answer there.
Yeah.
I think David Montgomery certainly is better. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So I was going to throw this out there real quick here. So like, we joke about, so-and-so, the Bears won the offseason, back-to-back offseason champs, or the Jets will win the offseason, the Browns will win the offseason, all that stuff. But there was a kind of a thread that I saw earlier, which I thought was really fascinating, where the last 7 Super Bowl winners all had pretty significant off-season moves, whether it was, signings, whether it was trades, whether it was, they drafted an impact player. So I just want to like go through just real quick, just to give you a couple examples. So like the Seahawks, they signed Sam Darnold, Cooper Kupp, kind of a big deal. Ended up winning Super Bowl. The Eagles the year before, they signed Saquon Barkley. They drafted Cooper DeJean, Quentin Mitchell. The Chiefs before that, they signed Jawan Taylor. They drafted Rashee Rice. And you could just keep going on and on. Like the Rams, when they won the Super Bowl, that was the offseason that they traded for Matthew Stafford. The Buccaneers the year before is when they got Tom Brady. The Chiefs before that, they signed Tyrann Mathieu. They got Frank Clark in a trade. So there's all of these pretty significant moves where like all of these teams in the last 7 years added at least probably 3 impact players, whether it was through free agency or a trade, or like 2 more impact rookies. So based on what we've seen this offseason, like who are the teams in your mind that have made those impact moves? Because I'll tell you one right off the bat for me is the Rams. It wasn't Matthew Stafford, but Trent McDuffie, the trade for him to give up, because they had 2 first-round picks. Thanks, Falcons. So they traded the later of their 2 first-round picks to get Trent McDuffie and then signed him to, I think, the richest deal for a cornerback in the NFL.
Yeah.
And they also signed Jalen Watson, who is also a Chiefs cornerback for 3 years and $51 million. So basically they took both of Kansas City's cornerbacks. They revamped what was their weakest position. So that's like 2 huge impact signings right there that they were able to grab. So like right there, that's a team to me that I'm very intrigued by. And also you factor in, they're going to have the 14th overall pick, wherever Atlanta was supposed to pick. That's where the Rams are. So a pretty decent first round pick to get another player that's going to be a plug and play starter for them. So like the Rams to me are kind of fit that mold. I'm trying to think if there's I think Buffalo, who we mentioned at the beginning, is probably another team too, with like Bradley Chubb and DJ Moore that I think you could put in that conversation.
Yeah, no, I think those 2 teams would be the 2 teams I would talk about. And I mean, it's so funny how we just keep coming back to the same teams year after year while they're doing the most work. And are we surprised Sean McVay's team is actively making moves to make his team better like that? I mean, I know he's not necessarily making the moves, but his hands involved with it, less need. So yeah, I would say Los Angeles in the NFC and Buffalo in the AFC. And you mentioned the reasons why. I'm trying to think of what a third
and I should mention like the teams that I mentioned, the Super Bowl champs, like all those teams were pretty good before they made those moves. Like these aren't like obviously the Tennessee Titans have made impact signings. The Raiders have made impact signings, but like these are 2 of the worst teams in football that were spending a free agency. Like what the Patriots did, that's not normal. That's a little bit of an anomaly.
Right.
But they also had, the young quarterback and the new coach and just everything aligned for them. But like all of those teams that won the Super Bowl the year before, they were all pretty solid already, but they got at least a couple significant players that basically took them from really good to champion. Okay. So that's why I'm looking at the Rams. That's why I'm looking at the Bills. Like those were 2 teams that were really good, fell short for one reason or another, and now they're champion.
So you're going out with Bills, Rams the Super Bowl?
I would, if I had to say right now, today, I would take one of those 2 teams to win, just based on that logic.
Give me the Rams.
It would be in LA again.
Matthew Stafford's old though.
He is old. Yeah. Buffalo's going to have a revenge tour, right?
Eventually, you would think.
McDermott, the roster upgrades. I think Patriots got to take a step back. Yeah. Dolphins are going to be terrible. Jets are going to be terrible. I'm calling it now. March 12th, Buffalo Bills, Super Bowl champs. I'm a huckleberry. Like that's.
Well, I'll be here. I love that. Yeah, though that's great. I might as well call Rams Bills Super Bowl
again.
Again, yeah. I mean, it's
until we get to
nothing else.
September 1st. Until we get to September 1st, and then you talk yourself into Sirianni and the Eagles again.
Oh, Nick. Yeah. Speaking of the Eagles, have they done anything?
No, it's been scarily quiet for them. Like they really haven't made any big signings. They've lost a couple players, like Nakobe Dean, the starting linebacker. They lost to the Raiders. They lost Reed Blankenship. So, yeah, like it's been more subtractions, but it's all lining up for them to get Max Crosby for a day 2 pick.
Yeah. It's who knows, but yeah, it feel like Eagles have been one of the ones.
Yeah. All right, let's get to some other topics here since we're already at like 40 plus minutes. So yeah, this happened. This was what, Tuesday night, right?
Yes.
What was your reaction? I just like tell me, what was your overall reaction when you saw the news? Because I know you sure as shit were not watching this basketball game. You were not watching Heat Wizards on your Tuesday night.
No, well, first of all, I'll back it up with saying he went for 21 tonight on 6 for 20 shooting, 0 for 5 from 3. So
that checks out.
He did not back it up with another amazing game. Well, anyways, so Bam Adebayo played 41 minutes in a game that they won by 21 points, a game they were winning by 16 heading into the fourth. A game that they were up 14 at half. He played 41 minutes. That's not needed. First of all, that's not needed. Right. We were padding stats here. When Kobe Bean did his 81, they were losing that game, and they needed all 81 of his to win that game.
Mm-hmm.
We saw situations where there was just, I mean, Bam shot 43 free throws.
Yeah. Well, and I'll say this, like Washington was like doubling him and tripling him, but yes, it was 40. Yeah. How many free throws? 43. He was 36 of 43 from the line. He got 36 points just from free throws.
He chucked up 22 3-point shots.
Yeah.
Like there is no reason for your 6'9" center, your 28-year-old 6'9" center to be shooting 20 plus 3-pointers in a game. It's just not needed. It was stat padding. It was stat padding for me. And and it's great, he can say Wilt, Bam, and Kobe. But like I don't know. I'm just not buying it. I mean, I'm just not buying it.
And it's like it sucks because like 83, like we should be celebrating a game like this, but I feel like everyone is maybe so jaded, and maybe, I think it's a combination of a few things. I think it's the fact that he shot 43 free throws. I think it's the fact that, he took 22 threes. Maybe it's because he shot less than 50% from the field, where like, I think Kobe for his game was like 60+%. It can also be the fact that it's Bam Adebayo. Like, okay, if let's say Nikola Jokic had this exact same stat line in a game. Everything was the same. Do we have a different reaction?
I probably do. I'd probably say, oh, he's a stud.
Yeah. If Victor Wembanyama has this exact same game.
Yeah,
I think we're having a different reaction. So, like, I think that's also a part of it. Like, it's the fact that Bam Adebayo's previous like high for this year was like 31 or 32 points.
Yeah, I mean, he scored 83 on Tuesday, and he's only averaging 20 on the season, right? Like, I mean, coming into this year, he was 19 and 18 over the last 2 years. So I mean, to be able to put those stats up, that's impressive. But I felt like Miami really forced it. Eric Spoelstra obviously was part of this, and I'm guessing because he had such a massive first quarter, this was probably talked about in the locker room at halftime. Hey, let's get Bam. Let's see how many we can get Bam tonight. Let's see if we can go after Kobe. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's a little disrespectful to Kobe, to be honest with you. I don't know.
I saw some people saying that like, oh, he should have he should have stopped at 81 or like whatever. It's like, I mean, at that point, you just might as well go for the record. But like, and like good for like he'll always have 83 points. Like that will always be the case. And I wish I was more excited about it. I wish I was happier about it. It's not even like, oh, I'm sad that like Kobe can't say he's second all time now. You know, there's only 2 players ever that scored 80 plus points. It was Wilt and Kobe. Now Bam Adebayo. Like, I don't know. It's just maybe I'm jaded. Maybe I'm jaded too, and just I don't experience the same joy from these types of things. All right, let's keep the melancholy atmosphere here, and let's look at the roster of the Chicago Cubs. This is Rodney's favorite baseball team. He loves the Cubs more than anything. He flies the W. No, that's not true. But they had a pretty interesting offseason, and they're still the favorites to win the National League Central, despite Milwaukee literally beating them every single year for the National League Central. They, of course, lost Kyle Tucker, but they replaced him with Alex Bregman. They also went out and they traded for Edward Cabrera, who's a pretty good starter from the Miami Marlins. Mm-hmm. So I think those were probably your 2 big ones. By the way, do you know Dylan Carlson is on the Cubs now?
I did hear that. Yeah, I did hear that. Now, whether he'll break the camp with the big team or not, we'll see.
Yeah. So, like, looking at this roster, so let's just go through the starting lineup here for the Cubs. Okay, so this is as of right now. So Michael Busch, who had a really good year, Alex Bregman, Ian Happ. It's your 1, 2, 3. Then you have Seiya Suzuki, PCA, Nico Horner. The lineup ends Dansby Swanson. Their DH as of now, and it'll probably be a committee, but Moises Ballesteros, who's one of their top prospects, and then Carson Kelly, who had, I think, a pretty good like first half of the year and stuff. Honestly, the lineup's still pretty solid. It's a pretty good lineup. Yeah.
Yeah, not gonna lie, that's a pretty good lineup.
No, it's a really good lineup. I think 1 through 7. That becomes really good if PCA is closer to what he was in the first 2 months of the season than what he was in the last 3 or 4 months of the season. Because it was really like a tale of two years for him, where like he was great and then just like he was unplayable.
Shout out PCA in the World Baseball Classic, 2 home runs.
Yeah, shout out true American patriot Pete Crow Armstrong. But so yeah, like I know that we're both looking at this and like want to hate them, but no, like it's a good lineup, and especially if Alex Bregman can come in and produce, and just like he's so consistent that I think that he, even if his peak isn't as high as Kyle Tucker's, I think that he will be more consistent than what Kyle Tucker was, because I feel like Tucker was very inconsistent this last year, whether it was injuries or other reasons. Like I think he'll just be more stable in that lineup for them. But like, yeah, overall, it's a pretty solid group, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah, it is. It is. And then I know they've named Matthew Boyd their opening day starter. What's the rotation look like after that?
So, yeah, like Justin Steele is still recovering. He had to have elbow surgery last year, so they're down him. But they have Matthew Boyd, Edward Cabrera, who is their big trade acquisition, Cade Horton, Imanaga, who I think some people are surprised that they tendered the contract and he accepted, and then Jamison Tyan is their 5 starter. So I would say definitely this is a team that I'm like more impressed by their lineup than I am by their rotation.
Yeah, but certainly not a terrible rotation.
I've seen worse. I've seen worse.
I've seen worse. Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of expectations for Cade Horton. Shota came in obviously very hyped, and so can he get to where he is supposed to be? So yeah, I mean, there's some questions there, but I've seen worse.
I think their biggest transformation though has been in the bullpen, and like I've never quite been impressed with the way that Jed Hoyer has built Cubs bullpens. It seems like he just throws a lot of slop on the wall and hopes that he gets a couple guys that stick. They have 4 new bullpen acquisitions. I believe former Cardinal Phil Maton.
Yes.
Maton. Yeah. Yep. So he's, as of now, pegged as probably their 8th inning guy. Hunter Harvey is a new guy. Jacob Webb is new. Hobie Milner is new. And they still have Daniel Palencia, who was honestly like kind of a revelation for them last year to get that ninth inning role. But overall, like they're really banking on like all the free agent relievers that they have are all like well over 30. It's an old veteran group. Like it's an old team, honestly. It's not a young team when you look at the starting rotation, when you look at the bullpen. It's a lot of older guys, and like their youth is just PCA. Like PCA is the second youngest dude on this team, and we've seen PCA now for a few years. So it's definitely an older group that I think is like needs to get over the hump now, and especially because like it seems like Milwaukee is just the thing that they can't get over. And even though Milwaukee just subtracts players year after year, they're just always able to find a way to come out ahead of the Cubs. So what's their over-under at right now?
Yeah, I was just going to ask, right now, are you taking the Cubs or Brewers to win the division?
Well, I mean, by default, until someone can actually beat Milwaukee, you have to take Milwaukee. But like Milwaukee, once again, like they traded Freddie Peralta because they could. Like they've always seemed to get rid of guys, but they'll also have a full year of Mizorowski, which they didn't have last year. They'll have a full year of Brandon Woodruff, which they didn't have last year. So like they'll make up for it still. They'll be fine. Like we all thought that they were going to be in such bad shape because they lost Corbin Burns, or they lost Devin Williams, and they get better.
Win total for the Chicago Cubs heading into the season is 88.5.
88.5. Where are you taking? What's your gut reaction there?
I'm probably going over. I think Cubs are going to be 91, 71, somewhere around there. 20 games over. I do. I think they're going to be pretty good.
Is there a part of you that's saying that just because like you're sort of hedging your bets here, where if they're good, you could say like, see, I told you I was right. But if you're wrong, then it's like, Chokers. I'd gladly be wrong.
I don't know. Like we read that lineup and it's pretty damn good.
The lineup is good. Yeah. No, it's good. Now if PCA struggles still, or Michael Busch takes a step back, because like they had a lot of guys last year that really, really hit the ball well. So I think that there's some chance that maybe you see a little bit of regression there across the board. Like, is Carson Kelly going to be a 20-plus homer guy again? It's like things like that. But yeah, like if it all works out, yeah, the lineup's going to be really good, and I think it would be the best in the division for sure. I will say I'll just go against you here because I need to take some unders. I'll go under 88.5 wins. I'll put them at like 87 wins.
Well, just FYI, the Brewers are 84.5.
Where do you think I'm going to go with that? Where do you think I'm going to go? Yes, always. Yeah. Always.
All right. Should we get to our best bets for betting recap?
Yes, let's do it again. So we normally would do this on Tuesday. We didn't have the show on Tuesday, so we're going to do the recap today and give you our picks for the weekend. Rodney's picks, he had an opportunity to really sort of gain some ground. He did not. No. Murray State, L. Hornets, L. Sharks against your Blues. You bet against your Blues, man. Crazy. L. Seton Hall, L. Canucks Blackhawks, though, nailed that. High-scoring, generational game there. So now your record is down to 67-73. That's a tough one. Now, this will make you feel better here because knowing that you went 1-4, I had the opportunity to really widen the gap. And naturally, I also went 1-4. Spurs only won by 4 points. The Mavericks, who were close with Boston, I don't know what happened. They ended up losing by 20 still. Unbelievable. Ohio was my only win in the rivalry game that went to overtime. Panthers beat the Red Wings outright. And then I also had Murray State. And shout out UIC, by the way, getting to Sunday. That was awesome until they got crushed. So because of my 1-4 weekend, I am 70-70. So I promise Rodney's Substack is much better and much more promising than the bets we're doing here. Nevertheless, we persevere, we soldier on. You have no chance to get over 500 this weekend, but with the good 4-1, 5-0, you can absolutely put yourself on the cusp. I just need to go 3-2, and then I'm back in the winning cycle. So why don't you kick us off here? Your first best bet for betting for the weekend.
Yeah, I'll take the Billikens tomorrow. They struggle on the road. This is not a road game. This is a neutral court game. Now, George Washington did play today, so they've got a little legs in this tournament going. But I think the Billikens get back on track. Coach Schertz has had some time to get his team ready. I think St. Louis by 7 or more tomorrow is the right pick in the A10 tournament.
Slew. Love it. All right. I am going Florida minus 10.5 against Kentucky. I think that there's some worry because it's like, a team, Kentucky's already lost twice to Florida this year. Are they really going to do it a third time? And the answer is, yeah, probably. Florida's really good. Kentucky's, just okay. 10.5 points. Yeah, it's a lot, but this Gators are going to be rested. They're going to be feeling really good. They want to go and make a really good impression here, win the SEC tournament, get that 1 seed going into the tournament. So yeah, I'm going to take the Gators here minus 10.5 and eat that big number.
All right. My second game will go in the Big Ten tournament. I'll take Wisconsin plus 8.5. Wisconsin beat the Illini last time. I don't know as if they're going to beat them, but 8.5 seemed a lot of points. Greg Gard, good coach, seems to do well against Brett Underwood. Competitive game tomorrow in the Big Ten tournament. I'll take the Badgers at 8.5.
Going against the Diamond Dudes. All right. Does this one look familiar here? I don't know if you know this, but Seton Hall and St. John's are playing again. And you'd like Seton Hall to cover 5 points. They weren't able to do that. But now the number's 7.5, a neutral court. And I'm going to go with Seton Hall finally here. I mean, both times that these teams have played, it has been like somewhat close. I think it's been like 5 and 7 points respectively. But now it's at 7.5. So I think this is now where you see a really close game. And I'm going to take Seton Hall plus 7.5 in this Big East quarterfinal.
I'll go to my Big 12, Iowa State plus 4.5 on the funky court there in Kansas City, the illuminated glass, apparently. I don't know. It's some kind of weird court there in Kansas City. But Cyclones looked good the first 2 days. Their defense was really good. I think they can keep this close. I think they want to keep the score down. Arizona, obviously, not that they want to lose, but don't have as much on the line. They're going to be a 1 seed. I think Iowa State, it wants to cement that 2 seed. I think you're going to see a very motivated Cyclones team. I'll take the Cyclones plus 4.5.
All right, next, I'm going with who I think are one of the most underrated programs in the nation right now, Miami, Florida, who's having a really solid year. All their losses they've had have been to really good teams, and they've all been super close. They do not have stinkers. They're playing good basketball. They're facing a Virginia team that's top 10 right now, but I think that you're going to see a really close competitive game. So I am taking the U plus 4.5 tomorrow night.
I like it. All right, I'll move to the National Hockey League, the puck. I'll go back to my Blues playing again, and I'll go with the very, very lack of defense. Although Joel Hofer has been good for the Blues. The Blues in general are not very good. Oilers are a team that I think can score 6 or give up 6 on most nights. I'll take the Oilers and the Blues over 6.5 tomorrow night in St. Louis.
I got a fun Oilers stat for you. Did you know that the Edmonton Oilers have never won the Pacific Division?
Never
once. Never won the Pacific Division. That means that Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Evan Bouchard, and the Oilers, who have gone to the last 2 Stanley Cup finals, have never won a division together. And
that seems like an underachievement.
And might not this year, depending on how we go the last 18-ish games or so. All right, sticking with the puck here, Kings and Islanders. It's 5.5 goals, and I'm going with the under in the Island tomorrow nights. These are just 2 gross teams. They're going to play a gross hockey game. It's going to be low scoring. It's going to be like 3-1. So yeah, not a lot of goals. Not a lot of goals for this one. So under 5.5.
Last one for me will be in the National Basketball Association. I'll take the Rockets to beat the Pelicans by 7 or more. I think it'll. I think it's going to happen. Pelicans not good. Rockets should be better. I think you see the Rockets win this one easy. I'll take Houston minus 6.5.
All right, my last one. How about that World Baseball Classic? Shout out Mark DeRosa for getting his team to the next round, despite assuming that his team was already in the next round. He definitely survived that one, but Italy's undefeated, and a lot of people are thinking the Italians are going to roll on through Puerto Rico. But let me tell you this: Puerto Rico is going to throw Seth Lugo out there on the mound, pretty good major league starting pitcher. Italy is going to be throwing out TBD. That's never a good sign in a game like this. No. And I think Italy is juiced from beating the U.S. They're beating Mexico, rolling through their group play round. That I think that they are in for a little bit of a shock when they face Nolan Arenado and them Puerto Ricans. So I'm going to take Puerto Rico on Saturday. I believe this is a Saturday game. To advance in the World Baseball Classic.
Real quick, Matt Norlander of CBS Sports says that Kansas State is closing in on hiring Belmont's Casey Alexander as their new head coach.
So it took. So hold on. So Belmont, who's been kind of, meddling for the last few years, they had one really good year that results in losing in the first round of Arch Madness, and their coach gets poached. But yet Brian Wardle's been at Bradley now for over a decade. Ben Jacobson's been at Northern Iowa for 50 years.
And he looks 45.
Right. Yeah, that's wild. Well, good for him. Good for him. That's a big get. Who did you say hired him?
Kansas State. Which, so for me, like being a Kansas guy, like Casey Alexander doesn't move the needle for me to be threatened by Kansas State.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not yet.
No, I don't think you've ever in your life been threatened by Kansas State in any capacity. Maybe one year when they had Michael Beasley, but that was it.
I mean, they went to a Final Four, kind of got fluky a couple years ago, but yeah, it was it just doesn't move the needle in the Big 12 for me. Good luck, Casey Alexander. It said the Big 12 is a little bit different animal than the Missouri Valley, and you lost in the first round.
Yeah. Yeah, you thought Drake was tough. Now you're going to be facing a conference full of dudes.
Yeah. Good luck. Good luck, Casey.
Good luck, man.
All right. Who are we remembering tonight?
Yes, our ending segment is Let's Remember Someone. We'll make this a short one tonight. Hey, Rodney, remember David Justice?
I do. Longtime Atlanta Braves. I think he played 10, 15 years in Major League Baseball. Didn't he finish with the A's, with the Athletics, right?
Yeah, his last season. So he played 14 seasons, mostly with Atlanta, 8 years in Atlanta, 4 in Cleveland, spent about a year and a half with the Yankees. And then, yes, his final year was the Moneyball 2002 Oakland A's. Actually, played almost 120 games for them. So was one of their regulars on that team that won the division, that won 20 in a row. Over 300 home runs for his career. Finished at 999 strikeouts. So he had less than 1,000 strikeouts. He never had a year where he had 100 or more strikeouts. So he was one of those power hitters who could hit 40 home runs in a year, but he wouldn't strike out 200 times. I mean, honestly, was always a very above average hitter, but was never quite he didn't really have those wow seasons. The best years that he had, it was his 1993 and his 1997 seasons where he was 3rd and 5th in MVP voting, where he would have, 41 home runs or 33 home runs. But other than that, just real steady, I'm going to hit 280. I'm going to get 25 homers, driving runs, not strike out a ton, be pretty on the field. Honestly, I think his biggest thing too is injuries. He never played He had a 157 game season in 1993. That was his best year. And then he never played more than 146 in any year besides that.
Yeah, no. So two things I wanted to mention to you about David Justice. Number one is he will not be a Hall of Famer.
No, he's definitely he's a hall of good. Honestly, a hall of very good, but no, definitely not a Hall of Famer.
And number two, maybe you did not know this, David Justice was listed in People Magazine's 50 Most Beautiful People.
Is that right? Well, he was married to Halle Berry.
Yeah. He said, I check my face to make sure there's nothing sticking on it, but I don't make sure every hair is in place. But he was named to one of the 50 Most Beautiful People by People's Magazine. So there you go. That's something you did not know about David Justice.
I mean, that's like, I would be like, okay, one of these is a movie star. If you didn't know, Rodney, and you just saw this one of these people as a movie star, it'd be hard to guess.
It would be. David Justice is a beautiful person. So this was in 1994. So this was 32 years ago. But I'm sure he's still a very beautiful person.
I was wondering when that was published. I'd be shocked if this was 2024 People Magazine. And it was like, no. David Justice, who retired over 20 years ago, who's now almost 60 years old. He's smoking hot.
No, it's been a while. Yeah. It's been a while, 1994. Yeah. So he was also in the Mitchell. He was also in the Mitchell report.
Yeah, he was. I think a steroid guy, which that's a little bit of a shame here. But yeah, David Justice, Rookie of the Year. 3-time All-Star, 2-time champion, one with the Braves, one with the Yankees. It's ALCS MVP with the Yankees, which is that's probably one that like people will forget when you think about the dynasty Yankees. Is like, who's the ALCS MVP? You're probably going to think of a lot of players before you would think of David Justice. So he's Hall of Very good, not a Hall of Famer, but just the first guy that popped into my mind today. So shout out David Justice, and we will look back on your career fondly and your handsomeness.
Yeah, that's
according to People Magazine. Yep. All right, let's get out of here.
That's right. Yes, let's do. It is about bedtime. Although Kansas TCU, 15 minutes to go, it's tied 40-40. So not bedtime yet. About 15 minutes left of this game, and then it's bedtime.
All right, we'll let you get to that real quick. First of all, to everyone, thanks for tuning in tonight to hang out with us. You can follow us at Stupid Sports Show on Twitter. Also, make sure to subscribe on YouTube so you can watch any of the episodes there. Are you still doing your live spaces every weekday, 9 a.m.? And I'm sure, especially now with conference tournaments and with the tournament starting next week, you'll be doing that. So, yeah, check out Rodney on Twitter. Yeah. He's at Newpel Rodney. So.
And our buddy Aaron Ferguson has been joining me and he came up with this, and I thought it was pretty good. Breakfast in Brackets.
I like that. That's a good name. Is that the official name then? Is that what we're going to roll with?
9 a.m. Central. We'll do it through the month of March here. Breakfast in Brackets, 9 a.m. Central Time.
I love that. That's amazing. So well done. And also, you've probably noticed the QR code that's been on the screen for the last hour plus. It's for the Substack that I guarantee is doing better than our picks on this show. So make sure to scan that, subscribe to the Substack. You get Rodney's free betting picks to your inbox every single day. And I don't want to speak up for him, but I will. He's probably going to be betting every single college basketball game, for next week. Yeah,
I've done it for a decade or more. Yep.
Right. So yeah, you're probably going to want to do that before the tournament starts next week. So we'll be back Tuesday. Tuesday nights. We'll do a show during the first four, unless you need dedicated viewing time for that. I'll let Rodney decide.
No. We can live watch, and then Thursday's show will be Daring the Dance.
Yeah. Oh, Thursday it might be hard for both of us to concentrate.
Yeah, it's all right. We can live. Maybe we'll just focus the show on the games. I mean, it'll be NCAA probably focused show. So I'm looking forward to it. We'll be back Tuesday night. Looking forward to it.
Awesome. All right. Well, he is Rodney Newpel. I am Tim, Mr. Padre Van Stratton. Thanks to everyone who tuned in tonight. We'll be back Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Central, for another edition of the Stupidest Sports Show on Earth. See you guys.
See ya.
Step right up, dummies, and listen to the stupidest sports show on earth with Rodney Newpol and Tim Van Stratton. Yeah.